today's game was obviously not about the result. It didn't matter. It really did not matter whether we won, drew or lost this game. It's all about Arsene Wenger, his final game in charge of Arsenal. And I'm actually feeling, well, I don't want to say emotional, but it's definitely a bittersweet feeling. You know, we've finally made it to the point where change is happening. The last few weeks have been, it's coming, you know, his last games are approaching. Just a lot of planning ahead, you know, and now it's like, we're there, and I don't know where we're going. It's a really strange feeling. I don't know who the manager's going to be. I don't know which players we're going to sell, which players we're going to buy. I don't know what the plan is. It's pretty scary if you think about it. We could be going into one of the worst transitions in history of football. You just don't know. We could be going into instant success. We might hire a manager and win the league next year. I know it's very unlikely, but it could happen. So let's talk about the game really quick. We'll get that out of the way because whilst it's a win and it's our first away points in 2018 in the Premier League, which is great, it was a bit of a boring game, let's be honest. I actually missed some of the first half. I missed Aubameyang's goal, so I've gone back to watch it. He is a poacher and a half, isn't he? He's going to bag us so many goals. Next season, I'm calling it, there will be a lot of players going for that golden boot and Aubameyang will be up there. I really do feel strongly that Arsenal going forward, we're fine. We have more than enough attacking talent, creative players, and Aubameyang, Lacazette, they will score goals. There's no doubt about it. Our issues are definitely defensively, and I've spoken about that, well, enough, that's for sure. So that's the main thing to take away from this today, is that we've ended his era, his reign in charge, and I'm talking about Wenger, of course, with finally an away win in 2018, which has been on my mind, and I'm sure on all the players' minds as well. And it's a big thing, that actually, if you go into the summer knowing that you didn't get a single away point in 2018 so far, the new manager already starts off with a negative, you know, so we can actually kind of forget about this now. It's not an ongoing thing anymore. We've put an end to that terrible stat. And it wasn't in style, but it was done. We've got the points. Huddersfield have stayed up. There was no real reason for them to worry about today. They looked like they were still celebrating, to be fair to them. So congrats to them. But commiserations to Swansea, ultimately losing against Stoke today. And they are going down along with Stoke and West Brom. In fact, let me pull up the table right now. So in the end, West Brom go down in 20th position with 31 points. Stoke, 33 points, level with Swansea there. But Swansea have a slightly better goal difference and go down with 33 points as well. And it's a shame because, you know, I'm not a big fan of West Brom. I absolutely hate Stoke City. You guys already know that. A lot of Arsenal fans don't like Stoke. But Swansea, I like them. They're a bit of a bogey side for Arsenal, so you'd probably think I'd be happy because we always seem to lose against them when we play away to them. But I like Swansea, and I feel like the club hasn't been handled correctly, and it's a real shame because I think they'll struggle to come back up. But hopefully that's not the case. I would love to see them back in the Premier League soon. Southampton and Huddersfield, of course, survived very, very close towards the end of the season there. Brighton actually finishing in 15th. And you know, instantly you look at the table and you think, oh, wow, none of the promoted sides have gone down, which is really impressive. I think all three sides that got promoted last year have done exceptionally well, which is really nice to see. And of course, Burnley, probably one of the mentions of the season, you should say. You know, finishing in 7th place for a club like Burnley, they're definitely well above their expectation. Let's be honest, they haven't finished very strongly. You know, they were very close to Arsenal, and they finished 9 points behind us in the end. But they have done themselves proud. I think Everton as well. Like, they've had a terrible season, but to finish in 8th, not a bad job by Sam Allardyce. Although I know he's not particularly liked at the moment. But let's talk about Man City, because they've won the league with 100 points for the first time in history. I think they won 32 games, something like that. It's just unreal, and a goal difference of 79. Most clubs don't even score close to 70 goals in the season. So Man City, of course, deserved winners and finishing 19 points above Man United. Tottenham somehow getting the win today, despite conceding 4 against Leicester. Finishing 3rd, Liverpool in 4th. Chelsea struggled this season a little bit, didn't they, along with Arsenal, finishing in 5th and 6th, respectively. So, overall, not a great season for Arsenal, absolutely true. It's not been one to remember, that's for sure, but it's over. we are now entering the new era. The transition over the next few weeks is absolutely monumentally huge for Arsenal. And actually, I'd go as far as saying it's possibly the biggest 3-4 weeks in our history. Because, we're going into a very unknown situation. How many clubs can you think of, bar Manchester United recently, have had a manager for so long and then just suddenly change? It's been a bit of a sudden change as well. Sometimes you'd expect a manager to announce it the season before. They'd say, right, end of next season, I'm leaving. It's been a couple of weeks for Arsenal. And I can't help but feel a little bit of anxiety here. Because we've seen, especially with Man United, that wasn't too long ago. They've moved from Sir Alex to Moyes, and they went through an absolute torrid season. And then Van Gaal didn't exactly improve things. And I think they found a little bit of... They've settled a bit, haven't they, under Mourinho? But they're still nowhere near as good as they once were. And I think that's going to happen to Arsenal. I don't think that it's quite the same situation because Manchester United won the league in that season where Sir Alex left. So they've literally gone from top, fighting with a new manager to try and win again. It's so difficult. And I felt for Moyes. It was way too big of a job. And I don't think anyone would have succeeded. I think it was just he was set up to fail. And I feel for him because he is a good manager. He is. He may not be the most exciting manager, doesn't get the teams playing brilliant football, but he's an intelligent guy. And I think had Man United finished kind of fourth, third that season when Sir Alex left, it might have been a bit of an easier time for him. Because with Arsenal, we're at a time now where we are used to not winning. We're definitely not used to winning everything, that's for sure. So it feels like whoever comes in doesn't really have to exceed expectations too much to not be hounded by the fans, to not be labelled as a failure. Wenger has left at the perfect time for a new manager to come in, have a few months to settle, even if it's one whole season, just to, dig their roots into the club a little bit, bring in a few players that they want to bring in and shape the team, change formation, whatever it may be. We've got a bit of time there on our side because we finished 6th this season. Anything better than 6th is an improvement next year. For Man United, that was not the case. Anything less than first was a failure. Even though they were probably expecting it to be worse, it probably wasn't. It wasn't as if they were expecting it to be that bad. So this is a completely different situation, and I completely get that. And that's why I'm worried, but also I'm obviously very excited because this is a chance for Arsenal Football Club to completely be reborn. I was even thinking today, it's not going to happen, but we could even change the badge. A lot of clubs change their badge when they go through something, really, really big in their history, or they just fancy a change. And I don't think we should do it, but it wouldn't have surprised me if they announced that we were, because it's a new era. Our new stadium over a couple of years, well, more than a couple of years ago, but that's like a new bit of Arsenal in their history. And then maybe now with Wenger leaving, you change the club completely. Give us a new badge, change the kits quite a lot. Just a complete refresh. And it's not going to happen. And I love the Arsenal badge. Actually, one of the reasons why I loved them when I was younger, because I loved the fact that it's got a cannon on it. It's pretty aggressive. It's a cool badge. I think it's the best looking badge in the Premier League for sure. That's in my opinion, of course. I quite like the Swansea one, in fairness. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked here. Basically, what I'm feeling right now is a bit of 50-50. 50% of me is dreading that we could be going through 1, 2, 3 seasons of absolute disappointment. But when I say that out loud, I just think, well, I've been through that over the last 10 years anyway, so it can't get any worse. So the other 50% of me is just really, really intrigued and excited to see what's going to happen. Apparently, we will be announcing our new manager before the World Cup, which is only 3 weeks away, or 2 weeks on Thursday, I think it is. 3 weeks on Thursday. I think it kicks off on the 14th of June. So it wouldn't surprise me if we literally announce just a couple of days before the tournament starts. But it also wouldn't surprise me if we don't nail a manager by then and we have to wait until after the tournament. But what I would hope is that we do announce it as soon as possible, so we can all get used to the fact that we've got a certain person coming in. He's going to come with a certain style of play, and it will give him more time. He'll be able to watch the World Cup and maybe find a few talents that maybe he thinks would fit his new style of play. Give him a nice amount of money to spend, because we're going to sell a lot of players, but we need reinforcements. And I've gone on about that so many times, I don't need to talk about it now. But the earlier we announce things, the better. I don't want it to be a late change, end of August when even, the Premier League's possibly started. We've played a game or two under Bold or something. That is worst case scenario. I'd absolutely hate that. Announce the manager in the next 2 weeks if possible. And please let it be Allegri or Luis Enrique. Still not a fan of Arteta being manager, but that's just my personal opinion. But that is going to be the end of this video, guys. I know I didn't really talk about the game too much today, but a 1-0 win got us 3 points away from home. First time I've said that in a while. And it's a good day for Arsenal Football Club. It's sad, but it is a good day. I'm of the opinion that this is for the greater good. It was time for Arsene Wenger to step down. He's done the right thing. And tomorrow is a fresh start, guys. Arsenal Football Club, we're starting again. We are refreshing our entire club, and it's about goddamn time, right?